In the West Lancashire League, Whitehaven were at Fulwood against their reserve team and were beaten 3-0. Now, manager Brian Dawson was expecting a tough game. It sounds as if it was, Brian.
Yeah, it was very tough. They were a good side, well organised. They had a very good blend of youth and experience, players at a good age. Yeah, it was a real tough afternoon, but like I say, it was expected really with the personnel that we had available to us, and it proved to be.
You went obviously with a number missing from your last game.
Yeah, we had from Tuesday's game, I think we counted that there was 7 starters that were unavailable to us. We ended up playing with 8 teenagers in the starting 11. And it's a tough ask, you know. We spoke about them. It's great having these kids in, but the balance has to be right, you know, and probably a maximum of 3 or 4. But certainly not 8 against a good side like Fulwood. To be fair, I probably put them as one of the best sides we've played so far this season.
And they're up there, aren't they? They're among the leading group, aren't they?
Yeah, I think if they win the game in hand, they'll go joint top with Chipping. But I felt that they were
a better side than Chipping.
A better outfit than Chipping. Yeah.
How did the scoring go, Brian?
We looked okay for probably the first half an hour. I think they scored on about 40 minutes. But to be fair, it could have been worse. Joe Rumley kept us in it on a few occasions. And then in the second half, you know, we tried to tweak things, maybe didn't get it right, and they scored, a couple of goals in quick succession after half time, and it was an uphill battle from there. It was kind of staying in the game and making it respectable, really, because it could have got out of sight. If I'm totally honest, probably one of the worst performances that we had. But like I say, we expected it. We were going there with a very young side, depleted even in terms of numbers. I mean, I had to name myself on the bench as an emergency third sub. Every other game we've been able to take, you know, a full quarter of 16 players, but unfortunately we could only get 13 and myself to travel yesterday. So hopefully that's the end of that period and we can settle down. We've got no game next weekend. And hopefully when we get into September, we can start getting the settled side and we can start looking to develop and progress up the league, because I feel like 10 points off 7 games isn't a very good turnaround for us. You know, we were targeting 2 points a game, but yeah, we're some way off that, which is really, really disappointing.
No, it's changed this year, of course, Brian. At the request of the clubs, there's going to be 3 promoted, 2 directly promoted, and then there's a playoff involving the next 4. So important to finish in the top 6.
Yeah, absolutely. I think first and foremost, before a ball was kicked, you know, we were targeting to try to get into that top 2. You know, having played the 7 games, the league is I believe it's kind of equally as tough as the league above. There's some real strong sides in there, and you know, we're going to find it really difficult to break into that top 2 now. We're probably 8 points adrift of that, I think. So yeah, we have to kind of reevaluate and look at the next target, and that would certainly to be in the top 6. I feel like if we can do that as the season grows, our players, especially the young players, will develop. You know, we speak about it all the time. We're new as a group, understanding the players, understanding the league. So I do feel that we're only going to get stronger, but it's a real stroke of luck for us that the playoffs are in place this season, because you know we're not even out of August yet and probably out of the title race.
Yeah. How confident are you that once you get August out of the way and it's Saturday to Saturday, you'll be able to get a full squad and a strong squad out every week?
That's a $64 million question, that, John. I feel that like kids of today don't kind of have the same commitment, desire, I guess, that what players in certainly my era had, where football was first and foremost. Everything else was a secondary. Whether that's
Yeah.
down to them being on too much money in the jobs that they're on, and they need to spend it by going away to these exotic holidays and things like that. I'm not sure, but we'll still come across the same obstacles, I guess, in certain weekends in during the season, especially like we say the Cheltenham weekends and things like that. The Grand National weekends, they're always
Yeah.
so yeah, they're always tough weekends. But we can only keep asking the boys to commit more, and we'll just have to see how it goes. But it's really evident there that we've kind of dropped 6 points on the fact that we didn't have a team available, and had we had them 6 points in the bag, we'd have been sitting in the top two, and they're the margins. So hopefully the penny drops with them soon. But what you have to understand is amateur football, and I do understand that. But it doesn't make it any easier, to be honest.
All down to love of the game, Brian.
Absolutely, absolutely. And listen, I think they love the game. That's why they play it. But
Not enough.
maybe not enough. That there's say the young. There's more to life than football. Like say they've got money. I really can't put my finger on it. But listen, it's not just us. I think it's every club. We can't make excuses for ourselves. Every club's probably in the same boat. But
and sadly, Brian, it's every sport.
100%, 100%.
Yeah.
And
You're starting to sound like me, an old fogey, but
well,
them were the days. We've had the best
yeah,
years. Never mind.
yeah,
Hey, you dig in, Brian. And no game next weekend, so it'll be a fortnight before we have a crack. Is that right?
yeah. We've got no game next weekend, bank holiday weekend. So we start on the 5th of September again against Turton. So we've got to make sure that we're ready and prepared for that. Hopefully, we might get a little friendly squeezed in one night week next week.
All right, mate. All the best.
Cheers, John.